One of my favorite movies is a movie called Serendipity. It's a romantic comedy that's set in New York City and tells the story of a couple who randomly meet in Bloomingdale's, have an amazing evening together, but both are in relationships at the time and decide that they're going to let fate decide if they're meant to be together. They send little indicators out to let fate have a chance that if it comes back to them, they'll have the name and number of each other and can reach back out. For me, this movie connected emotionally because it was extremely close to how I met my wife. So let me set the scene. In Seymour, Indiana, I'm a 21-year-old guy, and I do what any 21-year-old in Seymour, Indiana does. I go to Walmart at 1 a.m. in the morning. Now, my purpose for going was I was going to meet my girlfriend at the time. As I'm walking in, I randomly bump into a woman. We have a brief conversation. It seemed to connect, but also both realize we're in relationships at that time and decide to just walk away. A few weeks pass. Randomly, out of nowhere, through a mutual friend, we reconnect. Life brings us back together, a very serendipitous moment. Our first date just happened to be the weekend that this movie is released. We decided to go and watch it, and I'm not a romantic comedy fan, but as we're sitting there watching this movie, emotionally it connects to me because it's a story that I relate to. I went through this exact process in that I met an amazing woman, didn't have any idea how to find her again, and life brought us back together. The definition of serendipity is making fortunate discoveries by chance, and this was mine. I ended up meeting a woman who I've been married to for almost 17 years now and is the mother of my child. It connected to me because I could relate to it. Now, take out the fact that it has an amazing cast and one of the most well-written scripts I've seen. The emotions that were brought through by these actors was emotions that I personally felt. I understood. I've taken what serendipity taught me about love in that essence and sat back and viewed it through my entire life. Had I not sat down and bumped into her at Walmart that fateful evening, I wouldn't be married, wouldn't have a daughter. I wouldn't be working the job that I'm working today because without my daughter, I would have never worked into that. I think as humans, we struggle to let fate or destiny, have a say in our lives. We want to control everything. And serendipity gives you that insight that even though we have control in our lives and we can choose what we want to pursue, at the end of the day, life still does come through. And while maybe, my goal that evening wasn't to find the love of my life, and that's definitely not what I was looking for, but it led me in that path. It was a fortunate discovery by chance. It's a great movie, and I suggest everybody check it out at some point, especially if you're deep down inside a helpless romantic.